Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at Resident Evil 8 Village. I'm a huge fan of RE7, recently replayed the game start to finish on stream, and loved it even more the second time around. So I was excited for this new game, and I want to make this clear right now. I'm just going to drop my trousers and immediately hit you with the truth. This is not a horror game. This is really nothing like what you saw in Resident Evil 7. This is an action thriller with an emphasis on action. There was a statement released from Capcom recently. This is not me putting words into their ass. I am telling you what they said. They said that Resident Evil 7 was too scary, so they didn't want this game to be very scary. And they absolutely succeeded there, because there is almost no attempts to build tension or really anything of that nature. It is high-octane, nuts-to-butts action from start to finish. And different people are obviously going to have different tastes. A lot of people said that this is their favorite Resident Evil game because it's so action-oriented. For me personally, I like the game, but I much preferred the approach Resident Evil 7 took. I really enjoyed that one far more than this one, but this isn't a bad game by any means. This game is very clearly not trying to be a horror game, which is fine. However, I do need to bring something up, and this will be a minor spoiler, like a very minor one. There's one section in the game that everybody points out during the stream. Everyone was screaming it. Charlie, you're so fucking wrong. This is absolutely a horror game. You just haven't gotten to Dollhouse yet. And then I finally get to Dollhouse, and I'm there just fucking arms in the air wondering where the scary is. It's like I had ordered an action game with a side of horror, and they forgot my side. It was not scary. It is very different from all the other sections because it does take a different approach. It dials back the action and puts the focus more on slowly exploring and puzzle solving, which is fine. It's not like I hated it, but it was probably the weakest part of the game. It didn't have any horror, unless of course you have a fear of babies, which I guess a lot of gamers do, or a fear of a few dolls at the end of it. Like, for me, I don't understand why people thought it was so scary, but obviously people are going to feel differently about it. I wanted to point that out because it's the only section in the game that's different from all the others where it's all about action. In that one section, it does try a little bit to unnerve you. I just didn't think it worked even a little bit. And I wanted to get that out right now because I already know there were people typing in the comments he must have skipped Dollhouse or forgot Dollhouse or something. No, I didn't forget it. It just wasn't fucking scary. Resident Evil 8's scariest moment is Resident Evil 7's weakest moment. It wasn't that great in my opinion. I just wanted to get that out right now. Now, I do want to focus on the good things about the game because overall, I very much enjoyed my time with it. I think the game is absolutely beautiful. Visually, I love the design of the world. I love this whole gothic approach, and I really love Lady D. Most of the characters I thought kind of fell flat except for Lady D. And everything about the entire opening section, like really the first 25% of the game maybe, where you are in Lady D's castle and her domain, you're learning about her and everyone in that area without any spoilers, of course. I'm not going to give anything away, but you're learning about interesting characters and you're exploring a very interesting setting in the castle. And that is when the game is at its best. Lady D is obviously the poster child of this game, but Lady D is a very much sideline character. She is not front and center. She does not have a big role to play in this game. It's extremely misleading if you're going into this expecting her to be like a big part of it. She's absolutely not, but she is the best part of it. Her entire section, best moments of the game by far. From there, it doesn't really reach that same level of quality. Not that the other sections are bad, but it just gets a bit weaker, and then towards the end it is just all about putting a ton of enemies in a small room and making you fight, which I didn't like all that much. The gameplay is not bad. It's a little clunky, but not horrible or anything. Definitely playable, and it is enjoyable. But when you've killed like your millionth zombie after they've eaten 20 bullets to the skull, you just can't help but roll your eyes the next time you have to do it 10 seconds from the last one. It's such a huge emphasis on shoot, 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 and that's it for most of the gameplay loop. There's not many puzzles to solve. There's really none of that. It's mainly just about collecting things and then bringing them back to the original spot. And throughout that, you're just fighting. However, in Lady D's area, it was really well done where there was a blend of fighting and just genuine exploring of an interesting area. Everything else wasn't really like that. I just really can't praise the Lady D section enough, and I know that's why they focus so much on that in the marketing and the demos, because that is absolutely the strongest part of Resident Evil 8 Village, is everything involving her in that entire section. Now, I do want to talk about the story. Overall, I thought the story was kind of weak. Not bad, I don't think the story was terrible, at least not until you get towards the end. Again, no spoilers, but Jesus Christ, does everything get real fucking messy. But I didn't think the story was bad, you know? It's a very simple premise, and you're learning a lot of things about some goofy characters, but some of them are pretty interesting, like Lady D. I can't stop bringing her name up because she's really the highlight of the game for me. She's definitely the most interesting, but there are other characters that you do want to learn more about, and whether or not you do learn about them, I won't spoil, but, you know, you might not. And that's okay, I guess, because I do like the design of them and their own little areas, which is good. There's a lot to explore, there's a lot to find, which is nice. But I just really think the writing in this game is laughable at times, especially in the beginning and at the end. The dialogue is so incredibly goofy. This is not a minor spoiler, this was in the demo. When a character dies in front of Ethan, Ethan says, "Oh no, why does everyone keep dying on me?" As if he was delivering it in a Tommy Wiseau movie. "Oh, hi Mark, why is everyone dying on me?" Like, it's so bad. Some of the lines are so incredibly bad, and Ethan in this game is such an unlikable, wet fart of a character. He makes the dumbest decisions. He's just not a good character. He is really not good at all in this game. They did Ethan dirty here. Ethan is a hard character to root for. So definitely come into this game and expect some really eye-rollingly awful dialogue. Like, not even like charmingly cheesy, just like bafflingly dumb that makes you question what the fuck you're even playing. And during the stream, a lot of people were criticizing the voice acting, but I truly don't think it's voice acting that was the problem here. I really think it was the script, because again, the dialogue at points is just super bad. Like, edgy, 12-year-old edgy. Like, I'm 12 and this is what I think is edgy kind of shit. Not even like edgy, just like a child's version of what they think is edgy. Like, for example, "When I catch you, I'm gonna rip out your intestines and wear them over my mouth like a mustache." Like dumb lines like that. I don't think voice acting was really a problem. Yes, there was a couple characters that I thought the performance was a bit weak, and I'm like, damn, that was probably their first take and they sounded distracted. But it's not overly common, you know? It's not a lot of characters, and I don't think it's a problem. It really is just the dialogue being on a really goofy level. But again, I keep getting hung up on the negatives because there is a lot of things that I think this game did a lot worse than Resident Evil 7, but I do like a lot of the things they did as well. For example, I like Duke. I think Duke is a good character. I like the being able to just shop so easily, and money was super abundant. I played through on standard because hardcore just didn't seem worth it to me. Everything's just a real bullet sponge on hardcore from what I've seen. So I did standard. Money wasn't a problem. I was able to buy things and feel like a badass for most of the game. Even, well, at least until Ethan would say something stupid. And since there was such a huge emphasis on gunplay, I would like to actually commend them on that. I think this is probably some of the tightest controls Resident Evil has had with the gunplay. You're able to switch weapons super quickly, able to, you know, take pop shots, run around, strafe a little bit. I think they really did a great job with at least refining the gunplay to fit in a more action-oriented game like this. So I think they did a good job there. And I think I do need to mention this since everyone brings up playtime, especially when it comes to Resident Evil games. The game took me 7 hours and 10 minutes to complete. I'm totally fine with the runtime of this game. I don't think it overstays its welcome. Like I said, I had an overall fun time, a positive experience with the game. Obviously, I pointed out a lot of things that I think weren't great, but that doesn't mean that it made the experience miserable or anything. I enjoyed it, and I think 7 hours was really the perfect length of time to stay in this universe. And I do like the setting, and I like everything about where it takes place and some of the things that happen. So I did enjoy it, and it never really dragged. This was extremely intense from start to finish. It's just constant action. The pacing is breakneck, and for a lot of people, they love that. I enjoyed it. I still prefer Resident Evil 7, but I totally see why people would prefer this approach to Resident Evil over a slower one like 7. Overall, though, let's just plug this into the moist meter. I'm giving Resident Evil 8 a 75%. I think it's good. It's fun. I wasn't super disappointed or anything. I did enjoy my time with it, and yeah, that's about it. Now it's time to talk about Surfshark VPN. Having a VPN in this day and age is extremely important. Just for general safety, privacy, good practice, there's no reason to be sharing your data with companies or prying eyes. There's just absolutely no reason for it. We're not cavemen. We have the technology to stay safer on the internet, and Surfshark VPN offers a very strong VPN to help with that. They have numerous features that are extremely helpful, such as the whitelister, which allows specific apps and websites to bypass the VPN, which is great for mobile banking. They also allow you to connect Surfshark VPN to unlimited devices, so you can use this on pretty much everything that you could imagine and protect as many devices as you'd like all at once. And then, of course, there's the ability to hide your IP, which is extremely important because why bother sharing your IP when you don't have to? If you're interested in trying Surfshark VPN and being safer online, you can go to surfshark.deals/penguin. Use code penguin for 83% off of a 2-year plan and 3 extra months for free. Or just click the link in the description below. It's code penguin at surfshark.deals/penguin, and you get 83% off a 2-year plan and 3 months for free.